参観日っていいところを見せられるか不安になっちゃうよね。
Yeah, she's probably still bummed over the fact that Twilight and Pinkie became Precure before she did.
コリッコにあなたのハートにニコニコに
We got a little reminder that we got a mostly pointless guest star episode last week, and this episode opened with Sakuragawa announcing that Parent Day was coming up. Of course, Minatsu had to explain to her mermaid friend what it was and how parents would observe their class. And since we hadn't been introduced to Laura's biological parents yet, as well as most of the Grand Ocean, she contemplated a much smaller version of the Mermaid Queen coming.
来てもらうのは難しいよね
Nah, I've seen much more awkward cases. Naturally, all of the students were nervous, but for some reason, so was their teacher. And the Precure, in particular Songo, took notice of this. Their reasoning would become clear during their lunch break, as she was the Tropical Club's advisor, not that you'd be able to tell. Yeah, that's the face you make when you realize you wasted your life trying to pursue an idol career. Songo realized that their teacher was nervous about Parent Day, which led to Asuka jokingly saying that Sakuragawa's parents weren't coming, even though that was exactly the case. Yeah, apparently during the summer break, she had met with her father, Brock? Huh, dude finally got laid. Good for him. Anyway, he was coming in to sit in on the Parent Day because apparently he had some important business to attend to in Azora. And before he said this, he also mentioned that he was considering retirement from apple farming?
お父さんは桜川先生にリンゴ畑を継いでほしいと思っているので
Okay, I'll admit, I ruined that MLP joke before I even saw this episode, but is this lady actually AJ? And is this show trying to do all of the VA jokes for me? Also, yeah, this plot is a common trope for toy productions, in particular Super Sentai. Granted, I can think of a lot of cases of it happening to side characters, but still, the point stands. And as it so happened, Minatsu was also aware of this trope, so she tried to get her class on board to act as support, which, frankly, this lady probably needed even outside of this event.
いいですかこれは Oh my god!
Play the clip, they all want to see it.
では出席を取ります Oh my god!
Later, Brock had arrived a day early, forcing the Precure to move their plans ahead of schedule, and in a nice little bit of characterization, we saw how everyone worked under pressure, with Asuka and Minatsu being nervous wrecks, Minori with her usual poker face, and Laura and Songo just kind of chilling. Though the latter was also kind of giving me vibes of, oh god, I don't want to be here. Also, when am I going to get a character arc? They gave him a little tour of the school, with much of it not exactly giving Sakuragawa the most professional of appearances.
珍しい鳥が
あれは幻の青空レインボースズメ
I wish I were a bird.
Meanwhile, at the lair of the witch.
杯のおかげでやる気パワーがようやく半分溜まりましたね。
Oh, how convenient, because we're about halfway through the series, and most of the major plot points haven't really advanced. To try and advance things at least a little, he wanted to send Elda, who wasn't exactly in the mood.
これは夏休みボケね。
夏休みボケ
Don't we all wish we could have gotten that doctor's note? Thus, he had to marry accompany her, though much like how they keep changing out the Yanedas, it really wouldn't have much an effect on anything. Anyway, the big day had arrived, and Sakuragawa was understandably still nervous, but was going to give it her all.
桜川先生いつもと違う
No, I'm pretty sure it's just that awesome knockoff Pro-Man theme you're hearing. You see? Her students did play support, and it seemed to possibly work on her father.
Look, this is my serious face.
Still, she tried to teach her class with puppets, and yeah, you probably shouldn't have bought that thing from Amazon.
Did I leave the stove on?
And yet, she still managed to find some degree of success, I guess.
I gotta take a
Yeah, honestly, Elda launching an attack was a bit of a relief for everyone. And the resulting fight was, better than last week's, I guess. I mean, at least they got in a few more moves from both sides, like the Yaneda using remote-controlled shock, and Minori using her sonic roll outside of her transformation. That's legit cute and pretty cool. And speaking of video game mechanics, after hitting Manatsu with its eraser, our heroines used Mario logic and used its own weapons against it, resulting in a cat smile monster.
You will never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
They finished it off, and Parent Day proceeded, I'm guessing about as well as it was going so far. However, as it turned out, Brock wasn't looking to have his daughter take over the family business, as seeing her class wasn't his main objective in Azora, but rather...
Alright, y'all. I'm legit kind of scared. I mean, what else kind of cynical curveball can they throw my way at this point?
実は青空市で応援してるアイドルのライブがあるんだ。
Continuing?
I mean, it's literally called Old Ladies 84. How can I call it anything other than a gilf idol group? Ugh. Anyway, these men of questionable culture were going to help with the apple farming, so Sakuragawa didn't have to worry about anything. All of this did lead to a pretty nice moment between the father and daughter, but you know, honestly after that, let's just wrap things up with, wait, Sango doing the closing number? Actually, was she also supposed to be the focus character of this episode? I mean, there were a few moments in the first parts of this episode where the shot seemed to hold on her. I don't know, I could be absolutely wrong, it just almost seems like that was the case.
Well, I'll give this episode this. It was infinitely funnier than last week's, which actually had a comedian. Not a great one, but still. I don't know, maybe it's because I'm more of a fan of dry humor combined with some great facial expressions. In fact, while the animation wasn't all that great this week, in some ways it actually enhanced the humor with everyone just looking awkwardly enough off model, if that makes any sense. I just wish they could have worked in some actual characterization for one of the show's main characters rather than the side character who, now that I think about it, didn't really go through that much of an arc.
I'll say this right now, I actually really like Sakuragawa. She's a fun character with a lot of cute quirks, and it's obvious her VA, Sora Tokui, is having a blast. Now, I can't remember where I heard it, so take this with a heavy grain of salt, but I think she auditioned to be a Precure for this season, and got this role as a consolation/trial run. And if this episode was part of the audition process, I think she should absolutely be a lead next season. That said, right now, I'm not totally sure if we should be getting an episode just about her, especially when we still haven't really developed much of our main cast. Again, I almost get the feeling like this was supposed to be a Sango episode, as it would fit with her MO of being concerned about outward appearances, like Sakuragawa trying to remain professional in front of her father. But instead, we only got a few little tidbits of characterization from everyone, and a whole lot of gags. And don't get me wrong, this was a hilarious episode, mostly thanks to the combination of Brock's deadpan expressions and everyone else's over-exaggerations. Even the below-average animation worked thanks to the great pacing of some of these gags. This would honestly all be great if the show didn't have much of a narrative to be concerned about, but it does, and now that it's been established that the Fool's Coffin is half full, I would think someone from Big Daddy Toei should come in and start putting their foot down to get the plot moving. So overall, while this was a really fun and hilarious episode for an enjoyable side character, I do have to ask, these girls are supposed to be our main characters, right?
Work on my Toy Trinity video is a little bit back on track. Yeah, I'll admit, I kind of went through a little writer's block for this one. Sorry for the wait, but I just want to make sure this is a good one because we are discussing different forms of heroism, which I do find to be a very important subject. I only hope y'all still enjoy my ramblings in the end for what makes these characters so great in my eyes. Look forward to it, and until then though, farewell for now my friends, and What's y'all's favorite Sora Tokui role? Me personally, it will always be Hideri.
これ着て外は歩けないです。 TPO わきまえろってやつですよ。
I anxiously wait the day until she plays a Cure who says exactly that.